Welcome back to the Pack a Day Radio Show as we get set for the Mason Crosby Show. It is my pleasure to be now joined by, of course, Tommy already, who has been here the whole time, but also Mason Crosby. Fellas, how the heck are you guys doing?
What's up, Andy? Just loving being in the lead in our pick'em segment. Just kind of went to worst to first. It's just how this thing works. I've learned a lot over this last year in radio, and picking teams to win is definitely becoming a specialty.
This is totally going to be like a Jacksonville with Gardner Minshew 1-0 situation.
Is that what's happening?
And then go 1-15.
Yeah, well. I'm gonna ride the wave while I'm on it right now. I'm right at the top, and I'm gonna sit there and enjoy it. So
fair enough.
Yeah. Well, Andy, so what's going on in your world? I mean, anything good? I mean, I was out yesterday. Just had to shift days because I was at a charity golf event, which toot. Me and the boys, we got the W out there, so that was
there you go.
That was a good time. I don't know if you win a charity event. I'm not sure like how that works, but we all win because we were there. For the kids.
Okay, so nice cover this. So we start off by talking
I did
about
get first
you being
place,
best in fantasy, best in golf, and then by the way, it's all for the kids though. I love this, Mason.
Well, I'm just giving accolades, and then you got to bring it back to the humble space of we just do what we do for the kids. That's what
I love it. I love it so much. I was the opposite. I always struggle week one of making picks. I always tend to go a little bit bold in week one, and then it doesn't work out for me. We did against the spread picks in our Pack a Day podcast league this year. We didn't do that in the past. I'm solidly in the 35th percentile of pickers right now. So
Nice.
We got a little bit of work to do through the remainder of the season, but we'll gain ground. We'll make up for it after this. But yeah, not great week one, but we're getting all set for week two. In the fantasy baseball playoffs, though, I'm in the semifinals, so hoping to pick up a big win this week. So it's still trending in the right direction here, Mace.
Yeah, I got faith in you. I mean, with your evaluation process and the way you scout players, I know you'll watch the teams. You'll get a little deeper in there, and you'll get this thing figured out. I have no doubt Andy Herman will be back on top in no time in the pick'em stuff. So
we'll get there. You got to trust the process, Mace.
For sure. We got a great show lined up coming up. We're going to talk a ton of Packers. We got Tyler Dunne coming on at 9:30. I don't know if you saw his stuff on the what was it? The
Caleb Williams, House of
Dysfunction.
Mm-hmm.
So as soon as I saw it, I'm like, we got to get him on because I need to get inside of that a little bit more and see what's going on over there. And we saw it on full display on Monday night. I'm sure you talked about that game a lot, but I'd love to hear your take on what you saw on Monday night. That Chicago Bears Minnesota Vikings game.
Yeah, first of all, what a game to watch from a Packers standpoint, right? Like you didn't know what to go into that game, expecting just Caleb Williams, JJ McCarthy. What was Williams going to look like in that Ben Johnson offense? And the early returns were great in those first, drive or two, and then it just kind of looked like the same Caleb Williams after that. And for McCarthy, again, same thing, top 10 pick. And what is he going to look like? Is he going to be this next, unbelievable quarterback in, Kevin O'Connell's system and look amazing? And then for 3 quarters, it doesn't look like he knows how to play football. And then in the fourth quarter, he looks like Tom Brady. Like it doesn't make any sense overall. But it was a tale of two halves, obviously, but I would feel a whole heck of a lot better, not just because of the win, but in Minnesota's fan shoes right now than I would in Chicago. I mean, everything's set up, right? It's Ben Johnson's debut. You're at home. JJ McCarthy in Minnesota basically crapped the bed for 3 quarters straight. They can't get anything going. Your 85 Bears are there at halftime. The buzz is good. The vibes are immaculate. Everything's going your way. And then you still Chicago Bears that thing, and Minnesota somehow finds a way to win. And McCarthy just goes, complete God mode in the fourth quarter with 2 passing touchdowns, a rushing touchdown after not doing anything for the first 3 quarters. It was the most Chicago Bears thing ever. And it just it goes to show you, as much as it pains me to compliment the Vikings a little bit here, this is a Vikings team that's put together a very good structure in Minnesota with their GM, their head coach, their assistant coaches. Obviously their defensive coordinator is one of the best in the league. They have the right foundation there. Chicago adds a new fresh coat of paint every year. Oh, let's get the new boy genius head coach. Let's get a new rookie quarterback. Let's do something new and exciting. And it's just a fresh coat of paint on the same crappy foundation. And that's what it felt like to me.
No, I hear you. And JJ McCarthy just seems like, you could see his competitive fire. And you heard Aaron Jones talk about him where it's just like, hey, like we get to do this. Like, where would you rather be than right here, right? And it's like those kind of things are corny. They're a little cheesy,
very corny.
but it's like, but he is also just like he's going out there and competing. I mean, you could see it. You could see that Vikings team. And you talked about Caleb Williams, those first 2 drives. We call those the first 15, right? So those are scripted plays. It's like he's staying on rhythm. He's just throwing that first look. Ben Johnson's happy. Everyone's happy. All of a sudden, those first 15 run out, and Caleb Williams tries to go outside of the system a little bit, and he's trying to, make some crazy throws, get it downfield, get it to some, some tough areas, and they pan to Ben Johnson, and he's just like, too many times he had his head back, kind of rolling his eyes, and some of those throws Caleb Williams like attempted to make, I mean, were like horrendous. I mean, he's throwing the ball into the dirt. Like it was almost like, I'm not sure. And then he kind of releases it and it just kind of, flutters out to the outside. It's like, man, I can't say I wasn't happy to see that, that go down, where it's like, oh man, this is rolling. And then it's like, all right, Caleb Williams is still probably shouldn't have been their first pick. And Ben Johnson is not going to resurrect this, this organization year one, right from, from the depths of what they've been.
Yeah, obviously a lot of season left, but when you look at this team in Chicago, it is going to be really interesting to see kind of how they rebound from this, and it certainly doesn't give you a ton of confidence kind of moving forward. And just with Caleb, I watched some of the all-22 cut-ups, and man, it was shocking how he just looked like he's aiming the ball right now rather than just throwing it naturally. He's doing a lot of thinking, and we'll see kind of how he bounces back from that. But for JJ McCarthy, now 64-3 as a starter going back to his sophomore year in high school, 36-2 in high school, 27-1 in college, and now 1-0 in the NFL. Guy just knows how to win, I guess. That's probably going to come back to life a little bit in the NFL moving forward, but heck of a start for him, at least in that fourth quarter, and we'll see what that ultimately amounts to moving forward for them. But felt a lot better about Green Bay's chances coming off of watching that game, obviously after a big win against Detroit as well. As we talked about in our final segment there, it kind of feels like it's Green Bay's for the taking right now.
Yeah, I saw that the odds shifted, way into the Packers' favor, and that's exactly what I was going to ask you, Andy. Is as Packers fans, I mean, watching that game, what the Packers did to the Lions, who were the outright favorites going into this season. I mean, as Packers fans, have to be pretty excited. I mean, even the Vikings beat the Bears, but they didn't look good by any means as well, right? I mean, I think both those teams, Minnesota and the Bears, might have some, some defense, like decent defenses. The Bears didn't look horrible on defense for the most part. Obviously, Minnesota gives you a lot of different things, but not just because of what the Packers did, but because these other teams just might not be as good. This is for sure the Packers. This is the Packers' year to roll that NFC North and get back to where they need to be and getting home playoff games again.
One of my big predictions going into the offseason was that Detroit was going to be ultra aggressive in finding a piece kind of like a Micah Parsons, because they were right there. Like, they've been right there. They've been one of the best regular season teams in football. You knew there was going to be a little bit of an issue of losing Ben Johnson and losing Aaron Glenn. And it just feels like they were like kind of that one piece away. And you might, well, they went and got DJ Reed. Yeah, they lost Carlton Davis. It's kind of a like for like swap. I know Reed might be slightly better, but you're swapping out starting corners in that situation. They didn't go and get that piece in their first round pick, Tyleik Williams. I like Tyleik Williams, but you're getting kind of a run stuffing defensive tackle. It doesn't move the needle a ton for them. You lose to Darius Smith. You don't add anything opposite Aiden Hutchinson. And it just felt like they were not only in neutral, but it felt like they were taking a step backwards for a team that's already struggled to win playoff games. And in the flip side, you've got Green Bay going out and getting Matthew Golden and Micah Parsons and adding some real potential pieces to this team, not to mention Aaron Banks, Nate Hobbs, etc. And you just feel like you can feel the swap in the hierarchy, and then you go out and play that first game and Green Bay just kind of boat races them. And yeah, it feels very different. It feels like Green Bay is now the team to beat in the division, and Detroit didn't do what they needed to do to take that step. Green Bay did, and now you've got that swap at the top.
As it should be, Andy, as it should be. I mean, it feels right. Everything's right in the world. I'm back on top, just picking winners, and the Green Bay Packers are dominating the NFC North.
And the kids are
getting what they need. Yes, exactly. But I mean, obviously, this is week one. We're giving these big high reactions. We're going to, we'll dial it back a little bit. But I mean, we got to feel really good about what's going on. And as you said, like Lions didn't add a piece. Is there a wild world where, watching how they ran that offense, where they go and trade for someone like Tyreek Hill, because it's like they needed that because of how Jared Goff is and what he was in Ben Johnson's offense, and they were able to run the ball. He loved throwing to his running backs, to his tight ends. You get a guy like Tyreek Hill who is going to run great routes, get open, 5, 6, 8 yards down the field, and then can stretch it down the field. I was like thinking about that this weekend. And I was like, after that game, and I was like, man, if Tyreek Hill's available and Dolphins don't want to trade him to the Chiefs or someone, in the AFC, Lions could be a suitor to go get somebody like that.
It does feel like they need to make something happen. Speaking of teams that might need to make something happen, I'll leave you guys with this as well. The Dallas Cowboys bringing in Jadeveon Clowney as a potential free agent signing. He is in Dallas to work out today. We'll see if they do anything there. Of course, Green Bay faces Dallas coming up in week 4. So something to keep an eye on there as well. Excited for you guys to take over from here. Mason Crosby show coming up for the rest of this segment. Of course, until 11 a.m. today. Mitch will be back on at 10 a.m. Looking forward to that. You guys enjoy the rest of your show, and I will get out of your way.
Awesome. Appreciate you, Andy.
Appreciate you guys as well. Find the Pack a Day podcast 365 days a year, wherever you get your favorite podcasts. I'll be back tomorrow with Jamal Forrest, who covers the Washington Commanders. This has been the Pack a Day radio show. Enjoy your Wednesday. And of course, go Pack Go.
A Super Bowl champion.
The Green Bay Packers have won the Super Bowl.
The Packers' all-time leading scorer.
A game winner for Mason Crosby.
It's time for the Mason Crosby Show with Mitch Nellis, presented by Verizon, the #1 network in Milwaukee, on 1250 AM and 105.7 FM The Fan, powered by the Potawatomi Sportsbook and on the free Odyssey app.
It is the Mason Crosby Show, live from the 1250 AM 105.7 FM The Fan studios, powered by the Potawatomi Sportsbook. Tommy Wirtz in for Mitch Nellis in the first hour. He'll join us live from the Potawatomi Sportsbook at 10 a.m. today. Tyler Dunne going to join us in about 20 minutes from Go Long TD, but joining us right now, as he does 80% of the time, that's just the math, Packers all-time leading scorer Mason Crosby. How we doing today, Mace?
Math early on this Wednesday morning. I mean, you've been trying that a lot lately, but the only math I subscribe to is 4-1 and winning, this week in our pick. So
you did.
And I will keep bringing that up because I don't know how long it will last, but I am on top right now.
Keep picking Yannick Sinner to win, and you'll be at the top the whole year.
When does he play again? Yeah, I need
I'm not going to tell you.
Exactly. I'm searching it. Who am I going to pick this weekend? Yeah, I mean, I'm going to look at who's like the most favorite to win any game this weekend. I'm picking them.
What is the math on 0 plus 13.5 million? That is the money he was expected to make next year, but now will make. Christian Watson, the newest contract extension of the Green Bay Packers. Mason, we talked a little bit about it on the Pack-A-Day radio show, but your reaction to the Packers locking up Watson next season already on kind of a win-win deal, it feels like, for both parties.
I think it's it's favorable for the Packers if Christian comes back. He's been rehabbing hard. It looks like he's in a good spot.
Yeah.
But everything I've heard too, then it's like, all right, we don't have to push him back now, right? Like, look good. Let's see what these our receiving core can do. And then we will, we'll get him back in the fold. But now we don't have to rush him out. For me, though, does that put the writing on the wall, though? I mean, Dobbs might not be back, or is it just you give him that that year for 2026 so that you can maybe finagle some salary cap space to maybe try to re-sign Dobbs or get somebody else that you want to shore up that wide receiver room. But they obviously feel good about Matthew Golden. I think it's. I think, like you said, it's on the cheap if he comes back from this injury, looks really good, has a good end of this season. Then they're like, man, we got him for $13.5 million instead of having to try to go to negotiations in the offseason where we're going to maybe have to pay him 20 plus. Right.
Well, and that's what I pointed to, where it is like semi-prove it deal to Christian Watson. We went through a bunch of the guys who are on the same list of pay, and it's like Josh Palmer, right? I mean, like, that's how much he's getting paid as. And I think Green Bay is giving this not illusion, but this facade to him that maybe he's the number one wide receiver next year, or the guy that they prioritize as a top receiver in the offense. And I think that it's a perfect deal for Green Bay because it's exactly how they approached Jordan Love, right? It's the same way they gave him that 1-year extension to kind of let him play on that deal and see what could happen from there. And it worked out really well for Jordan Love. Yep. I don't think the same necessarily happens for Christian Watson, but at least Green Bay next year kind of locks up Christian Watson. They have Jaden Reed. They have Matthew Golden, Dontavian Wicks. Yep. Like all of this is now just getting the chemistry built up for Jordan Love and his weapons for the foreseeable future.
Yeah, you just basically said, okay, you're going to be coming off an injury. You're going to be a year removed from it. We're going to have you on the roster. We're for sure about that. We're going to see if we can get something done with Dobbs, if he continues, I mean, like the start to the season was really good for Dobbs. So if he becomes that number one this year, he becomes a big time contributor on this team. Now they don't have to just go and do something wild to keep keep one of their best receivers in the house. They still are the Green Bay Packers, so they drafted Christian Watson. They want him to be successful. I really like the move, and it's again, I think it gives him confidence in a way back where it's just not like, okay, I got to get back. I got to get on this field. I'm sure he's been in that building chomping in the bit like, hey, I'm close. I'm good. Let's try to push this thing forward as fast as we can. And they're just like, hey, we're going to secure you for next year. Get this thing right. We're not going to bring you back until we know you're fully ready. And then you're going to be a real big contributor down the stretch, because you had Christian Watson into that offense, here in 6 weeks plus. And then it's like, now you're taking the top off of defenses even more. Dobbs got behind, the Lions and caught that deep ball in that first game. So you had Christian Watson to that. He's proven that his speed can be dangerous and be effective. So I think it's a good move. And it's just one of those where now we live in a world of NFL contracts where $13.5 million is a team friendly deal. It's like, let's just give this guy $13.5 million. Like, it's good for everybody. Like, it doesn't really hurt us too bad. And now we don't have to pay him $25 million next year if he goes out and balls.
It is the Mason Crosby Show. Tommy Wirtz, Mason Crosby, talking about the Christian Watson 1 year, $13.5 million contract extension that came out yesterday. Looking ahead now here, Packers, Commanders here in this segment. What are your expectations? What are you expecting? What do you want to see tomorrow from Green Bay as Washington? I mean, it's crazy. It's already tomorrow.
I know. When you said tomorrow, I was just like, oh gosh.
Yeah. It's awesome. I love
football
that
all the time.
I feel like when we hated this Thursday night game at first, but now I just am so lucky to say that my team gets to play tomorrow.
I feel so fortunate.
Nicolay Law fan talking text line 414-677-1250. Talk about Christian Watson. Talk about Commanders at Packers tomorrow. The injury report came out yesterday, Mason, and there was quite a few names added to this, and some specific did not participates that raise a little bit of an eyebrow. So full injury report for yesterday for the Green Bay Packers. Limited participant out of Zane Anderson. We also had Nate Hobbs as a limited participant, Micah Parsons, Jaden Reed, Baron Sorrell, Quay Walker, and Dontavian Wicks all were listed as limited. As far as did not participate, this is when some names jump out. You have Aaron Banks, Bretton Cox, you have Bo Melton, you have Zach Tom, all listed as did not participate. 2 of the 5, that's 40% for all you math people out there, of the Green Bay Packers offensive line, which looked amazing in week 1, not practicing yesterday, Mason. How concerned are you about them for Thursday then?
Not concerned about Aaron Banks because he played the whole game on Sunday, right? So it's like, I think long training camp, he, kind of been dinged up. He had his, bat. He has some things he's dealing with. So this quick turnaround, he's a veteran player. Not surprised to see that. Zach Tom, obviously concerning because he did come out of that game. And, what was the injury listed?
For Zach Tom, it is an oblique injury.
I couldn't tell. Yeah, if it seemed like maybe it was his back. Or like whenever I saw the replay, I was like, I don't think it was his leg.
Yeah.
But he got twisted up whenever he went to the ground. It's kind of that nasty rotation. So that's a little concerning for sure that Zach Tom didn't practice. I know Bo Melton and Brendan Cox were got out of that game, and we didn't see them. So not too crazy concerned on that front, but obviously guys that you want on the field. The guy that I'm like at least he was limited, Nate Hobbs. So that means he did practice some. He's out there moving. Would like to see him get in the fold, and I think this would be a good game for him to get back into. It's like, all right, he didn't play on Sunday. Maybe that was the plan all along. It was like if he's not fully ready, he doesn't play Sunday, but then we get him kind of that extra time, and he ramps up and he goes out. Because I'm sure on Sunday he went out on the field, did like a rehab, like warm up workout, kind of did maybe some game like movements, and then it's like, all right, Thursday we're going to be ready to roll. Get back out there and get your stuff done. These Thursday game weeks are you take those practice days with a grain of salt, because I mean it is quick turnaround. Tuesday is the really only work day, but it's going to be limited for the most part anyways. You're going to do a lot of special teams, a lot of situational ball, not going to just really open anybody up because you are literally playing in 2 days. I mean, you're right back at it. So I'm not overly concerned with that injury report. I think honestly, after a physical game on Sunday and to be playing on Thursday, it's fairly tame for the most part.
A lot now for the Commander side of things. Zach Ertz, Jonathan Jones, Marshawn Lattimore, Von Miller. Hand up if you forgot Von Miller was on Washington this year. Daron Payne and Laramie Tunsil all did not parparticipate on Tuesday. Yes, I guess so. All veterans.
That's
kind
what
of
I
in that line.
Yeah, whenever you read that list, I'm like, those are just, that's just vets. We don't need you to practice in these, this 3 days before we play a game on Thursday.
I think that what I am most concerned with is that Green Bay really now – we have to see this depth. We saw a little bit of it with Kennard and Belton coming in for Zach Tom and Aaron Banks, and Jordan Morgan was rotating in with Sean Ryan. I think the good news from Sunday that you can bring into Thursday is really, unless they announced anything, you didn't really notice a difference. You couldn't tell who was out on the field. Jordan Morgan has the same flow that Sean Ryan has going back there. I didn't even notice it until they pointed something out, which again, that's always
didn't Kennard have was that Kennard with the long white, or was that Jordan Morgan?
I thought it was Jordan Morgan and Sean Ryan both doing that.
I might have seen the wrong guy.
So I think that's got to be good news, Mason, if hey, why is Kennard in is the next sentence out of your mouth as soon as he comes in, right? I mean, no one really, any performance. I think I saw something like Jake Bates had more solo tackles than Aiden Hutchinson in the game last week.
Which is, I mean, we talked about Aiden Hutchinson. I mean, he was like a nothing burger in that game. I mean, he didn't affect anything on that defensive front. And again, I think when Kennard came in after Tom got hurt, they put Aiden Hutchinson on his side, and we ran the ball right at him. Right. It was like, and I will say LaFleur did a great job because you kind of isolated Kennard, I think maybe the first run play, and then you had him kind of go down and you pulled some guard, you pulled some linemen. So it was just a really good design to say all right, Aiden Hutchinson thinks he's going to kind of get something on this new guy coming in, but we're going to do a lot of different things to disrupt that. And, just kind of kept controlling the field, which is exactly, I think those were some of the question marks too, right? It was all right, LaFleur, let's have that plan. Let's stick to the plan. Minor adjustments as need be, but let's not throw everything out if something doesn't work. Let's not just kind of try to reinvent the wheel. And I think Coach LaFleur did a great job at shifting things around whenever those injuries happened on the offensive line, and just nobody skipped a beat. I mean, it was just it just looked exactly the same from one guy to the next, which is a really good thing to have whenever you're talking offensive line.
Especially when the last time we saw the offensive line depth getting exposed against Philadelphia, right?
Exactly.
That's obviously a massive upgrade to bring in and rotate those guys throughout that offensive line to not have them be noticed is a much bigger deal than for them to be noticed.
Yeah, and you don't get that week one very often, right? And
right.
You probably didn't expect to, feel that good and have that situation against the Detroit Lions team that is, just built on energy and pressure and physicality, to be able to get some of these guys and see that depth right away. Has to just make them feel really good inside the building. And as fans on the outside, we have to feel just really confident if something catastrophic happens, and knock on wood, but sadly, this is the NFL. Like, some of these guys are going to have to play some meaningful, significant minutes down the stretch here. And we've already gotten to see them against a really good football team go out there and do their job at a high level. And I can't be, for me, how I feel about the offensive and defensive line. I mean, it's like that is a heartbeat and the pulse of the team. And so to see that many guys get opportunities in week one just is going to pay dividends throughout the course of the season.
It should indeed. The Mason Crosby Show with Mitch Thunder Nellis, Tommy Wurtzen for Mitch Nellis. Mitch will actually have his show on the road over at the Potawatomi Sportsbook today, starting at 11 a.m. on middays with Thunder here on 1250 a.m. and 105.7 FN. Important PSA as well for our listeners. The Mason Crosby Show, also a podcast. You can find us anytime on Apple Podcasts, Spotify, wherever you get your podcasts. Catch the full episode, listen by individual hour, jump straight to the highlights, open up your favorite podcast app, search The Mason Crosby Show, hit the follow button so you get every minute of every show. Plus, we're on YouTube, so you can watch every minute of every show. I thought you were wearing what shirt you got on today?
This is my old ranch. It's Shadow Ridge. It's
Okay, I thought it was
Lampasas, Texas. That's a deer.
It's a deer.
Yeah, for all those hunters out there. Yeah, we got
season soon.
Some nice deer there at the ranch in Texas.
I don't want to go too far off topic, but yesterday my roommate was like, "Oh, I got something for you," and I was about to walk in to see it, and he was like, "No, let me come to you." And he comes around the corner. He just has a full crossbow, like
nice.
Chewbacca
That's what
style,
you're expecting,
right? Like it was just so it wasn't for me, but he wanted to show off that he went and bought a crossbow, and it was.
Did he just rip an arrow up into or a bolt, as they like to call them?
I don't even
Did he just
know.
rip a bolt up into the ceiling?
He said it goes like 410 feet a second.
Yeah,
like that thing.
I mean, crossbows are rifles, right?
Yeah.
Like, I mean, you're still able to hit stuff with a crossbow from like 100 plus out.
Yeah.
100 yards out. So it's, I've always, it's, again, I like rifle hunting. I like to bow hunt, but it's like, I guess I don't understand the point of a crossbow, but I think there's some areas where they're in Milwaukee area or around the state of Wisconsin that it's congested, right? Or there's not a ton of open space. So the bolt won't go as far at that 400 feet per second. So a little safer, in that sense. So I get it for some areas to use a crossbow, but I love that he just came in just wielding a crossbow.
I mean, like straight Chewbacca Star Wars stuff. Like it was pretty insane.
What'd you do?
I asked did you hold it?
Did you look at it? Yeah. Did you do the obligatory scope? Sight in.
Yeah. I mean,
nice. Yep.
Yeah, right.
We're gonna hit something with that. Yeah, I feel really good about this thing.
Never held one before in my life. Just was like
grabbed it and was like a pro.
Yeah.
You're just like, oh gosh.
You're like, that guy knows crossbows.
Yeah. I could hit a deer, no problem right now.
We're going to be joined by Tyler Dunne of Go Long TD on the other side of this break. It is the Mason Crosby Show. Mason Crossbow Show? All right. Mason show. Crossbow Show on 1250 AM, 105.7 FM, The Fan, on the free Odyssey and iHeart apps. It is the Mason Crosby Show. Tommy Wirtz, along with the Packers' all-time leading scorer, Mason Crosby. Just got done talking about Christian Watson's extension, injury report. Mason thinks that old people shouldn't have to practice anymore.
Yep, exactly.
Basically what he's going with. And joining us now on the opposite end of the age spectrum to talk Caleb Williams. I don't know how old Ty Dunne is, but Ty Dunne, Go Long TD, joining us here on the Mason Crosby Show. Follow him on Twitter at Ty Dunne. Tyler, how we doing today, my friend?
Doing fantastic. I mean, if I have the opportunity to catch up with an old pal and Mason Crosby, I got to do it. This is great to see you. Congrats on joining the dark side, Mason.
Thanks. I know. It still, feels a little uncomfortable at times, but we're here. We're doing our thing, and your beard is looking really nice. Yeah, so I'm all for that. We were just talking crossbows and hunting, and I feel like you could go and be in the woods right now, and and sneak up on a deer. Easy.
I tell you what, that's how we first connected way back when. Maybe you don't remember, but was it 2006? I think I was still in college at Syracuse and freelancing at the Packer Report. And you were kind enough to give a snot-nosed college kid who still had hair at that time, 30, 40 minutes of your time. And you compared kicking to hunting in patience. And there's so many similarities. So I actually just moved out to the woods. I got to get into it.
You just, exactly, right? Yeah, get back out there.
Get into the woods.
Get into the woods. Well, we're going to get into the woods for sure because I'm so excited. As soon as I saw this 3-part series you put up, I'm like, all right, we got to get Ty on and talk about this. So, tell our listeners what you're doing with your Go Long, subscription page where you're, is it Go Long TD? Is that what the actual title is? Perfect. And then what you kind of compelled you and what you kind of were seeing that made you want to write this 3-part series called House of Dysfunction all around the Chicago Bears and seemingly mainly Caleb Williams and what's going on there with that starting quarterback in Bear country.
Yeah, so I think it would have been November of 2020 is when I launched golongtd.com. Just, you probably remember, I took up way too much of your time at your locker. Always gravitated toward the feature stories, just hurling myself into people's worlds, whether it's a player profile, seeing what makes a guy tick, or a palace intrigue type of story, chatting with, in this case, 32 different sources to see what is really happening there at Hallis Hall. To answer your question, what intrigued me about the Bears is probably what intrigued everybody about the Bears way back in January when Ben Johnson is hired. Holy hell. I mean, what a combination to have this brilliant X and O mind. Everybody out there in Green Bay and Milwaukee and all of Wisconsin saw it with what the Lions were able to do on a down-to-down basis. And I talked to a lot of Lion players. I mean, this is a coach who is a mad scientist. He locks himself in his office, figures out every answer to every question. Yeah. And I'm coming to this from a place of optimism, frankly, because, from afar, it seemed like Caleb Williams played pretty well at times last year. There was a highlight here, a highlight there. Remember what he did at USC? And I'm thinking, man, you take this and you take that and you pair it together. This will be fun. And then the more I talk to people, the more you realize 2024 was not fun, especially for those coaches.
It was not fun.
Who had a lot to say. And I don't know, man. I feel like Go Long exists. I think there's an NFL out there, an underbelly out there that isn't necessarily broadcast at a podium. That isn't there for isn't digestible for the masses. And these coaches, scouts, players, mostly former, but some even current, they just wanted to share their reality of how things really went down last year. And we could talk for hours about it, but mainly Caleb Williams was not open to coaching, and it was immediate. He's described as petulant, entitled, kind of introverted. And really, they took a hacksaw to their own offense. The playbook was just completely castrated because this is what Caleb wanted, right down to the play call, right down to taking out checks and audibles. And
you said in the article or in this series that he went back to, he wanted ready, set, go. Is that literally what was going on there in Chicago? Like he was not doing any of the the color calls and anything like that. It was literally just back to elementary school, playing on the playground, like ready, set, go. Like it's crazy like that was going on over there.
And I had to ask this coach to like triple confirm that, because my mind was blown as well. But yeah, that's what I was told. And between that and this tendency to kind of like clap right before the ball would come to them, these edge rushers are just, I mean, they're just firing off the ball. I mean, the O-line coach is on the headset like, can we effing change the snap count, do something here? Meanwhile, like the formation would be backwards. He'll forget to motion a player. And this stuff just lingered throughout the course of the season. I mean, really up to the end. I mean, there was a Saturday walkthrough they had in a team hotel ahead of a Lions game where he actually played really well, which kind of shows you there's talent there. He botched like 4 of the first 8 play calls in that walkthrough. And these coaches are thinking, man, nothing is changing here. So Ben Johnson has his work cut out for him, because Ben Johnson wants to run his offense. Yeah. He wants to do as he should. So it's incumbent upon Caleb Williams to keep up with Ben Johnson and his offense. They're not going to twist and contort and bend over and can just completely change everything that they had before.
Right. Yeah. I mean, you could hear it, and they were talking, the announcers on Monday night, Aikman and gosh, why am I forgetting? Buck. Yes. Sorry. Yeah. I never listened to those guys when I was playing. So, it's like, no.
In the media.
No, exactly. Yeah. They just tuned everyone out, for a long time. So I'm still getting used to it all. But they were talking how like Ben Johnson, literally, he just preaches completion. And you saw it with Jared Goff, right? And it was like, even against the Packers this weekend, Jared Goff is still, it's like, just get completions, even if it's a check down, right? And those first 15 plays from Caleb Williams, I think we were all like, the scripted 15, those first plays, it's like, all right, like Ben Johnson has him doing what he wants him to do. He's getting rid of the ball quick, doing all that. And then all of a sudden, Caleb Williams gets, play calls get opened up, things start happening, and he's starting to make some bad choices. I mean, from all your conversations, is that seemingly the type of person and player he is, where he's just going to kind of, once it gets opened up and he's like left to his own devices, he's going to start making some bad decisions, get a little caught in between things? Because that's what it looked like on Monday night.
Yeah, like how validating was Monday for you, Ty?
I got to bite the tongue. We all should, because it's one game. I mean, the week 1 overreaction.
Bring us down. Yeah. All right. Hey, I'm in the media now. You talked about it. I'm an overreaction machine now. Like, I'm just like, me, like in all my time in Green Bay, just steady, like nothing, nothing phases good or bad. But now I'm just like, I'm riding the wave. I'm all over the place.
Which is, I think, good to an extent, because one football game means 10 times more than one baseball game. So there is a lot at stake every week. Don't get me wrong. I'm thinking back to just the Packers a few years ago got walloped by the Saints, like in Jacksonville. And it seemed like, oh my God, what's going to happen here? And everything was okay. So, but no, I think that those concerns were real though. I think everything that these coaches detailed in our series in terms of just not being able to play in structure, not being able to function in terms of motioning players in a timely fashion, and maybe the safety comes down and you've got to get some help over there, or you flip the running play to the other side. All of those little things kind of drove these coaches batty all season long. And you saw a lot of that in this game. But I think what's maddening is you do see him complete the first 10 passes of the game. You do see him escape. I mean, he should have been sacked 5 or 6 times against the Vikings and managed to spin his way out of there, make something out of nothing. So the talent's there. I mean, even that Saturday walkthrough where he screwed up 4 of the 8 play calls, he played really well against the Lions the next day. Well enough for Ben Johnson to want to take that job in Chicago. So that's where it's tough. It's like, man, there's clearly talent here. He's got a great arm, but is he willing to work behind the scenes? As you know, Mason, I mean, playing quarterback is so much more than just talent. Like, you've got to know what's burning inside of somebody and how they're going to respond to adversity. And when adversity strikes, Caleb hasn't faced a lot of it in his life, high school to college to the pros. But when it has stricken, he hasn't responded the right way. Like, if a coach has called him out, he will turn around and just walk the other direction without saying anything. So that to me, that's not sustainable. His play style doesn't seem sustainable. And that 6th sense reaction when what hits the fan That's not sustainable. It's going to take him looking in the mirror and taking some accountability here.
For sure. We got Tyler Dunne joining the Mason Crosby show. You can check him out, golongtd.com or at Ty Dunne on X. Just talking about House of Dysfunction and those Chicago Bears to the south. And what's going on down there? But I loved when, just kind of in the little blurbs that I was able to, get, because on your site you can subscribe and jump on and you get all of your inside, thoughts and all these articles that you wrote. But I was so curious about the draft process, right? And like the personnel meetings and how you said it was just like, there was no question. I mean, it was like Caleb Williams and they just wouldn't even like do the due process on all these other players because it just was like, it was going to be Caleb Williams, no questions asked. And, just kind of what a miss that might have been just to not break it down fairly and make sure you were getting the right guy for the job.
Well, especially after, now he's 0-3 against all the other quarterbacks in his draft class at this same time too, right, Ty? Like, very good line as well to use against this House of Dysfunction.
That blew my mind more than anything. It's 3 parts. I think like 27,000 words, talked to 32 people for this. What blew my mind more than anything is the complete lack of discussion. Forget debate. A lack of discussion, genuine discussion around Jaden Daniels, Drake May, let alone Michael Penix, Bo Nix, JJ McCarthy. What I was told is they quite literally laughed Drake May off the screen. Ryan Poles is manipulating the draft meetings in a way to where he's showing Drake May's worst moments, running around, throwing at awkward angles, the spirals off, receiver cuts one way, he throws the other way. And it got to the point where people are laughing, and the quote per a scout in that room was Ryan Poles saying, this makes my chest hurt. This tape makes my chest hurt. And there was somebody in the room, Chris White, who did speak up and say, look, this isn't fair what we're doing to this kid. Let's watch something else. Got a little contentious. It was a little tense. And eventually it kind of reverted back to laughter, mocking. And that was it for Drake May. I mean, they completely didn't consider him. But Jaden Daniels as well was never a serious consideration. And I think they were interested in bringing him in on a top 30. But at that point, Jaden Daniels camp, I talked to somebody close to Jaden Daniels. They knew where this was going. They knew that the Bears had the blinders up. They were all in on Caleb Williams for weeks, months. They didn't want to be a part of a quote-unquote dog and pony show. So it was so disingenuous, they turned it down. And it's just too bad because, I mean, this is the most consequential decision in modern Bears history, maybe ever. Maybe in all 106 years. Nothing matters more than nailing this draft pick. And you don't even really open it up for genuine dialogue. It'd be frustrating if you're a Bears fan. And look, maybe Ryan, no, not maybe. He definitely would have taken Caleb Williams anyways. Don't get me wrong.
Yeah.
He loved Caleb Williams back to 2022. He saw Mahomes. He's a former Chiefs scout. He was all in. But I think that there's some frustration with people on his own staff in that you're not even really thinking about these other quarterbacks. You're not really talking about them. It's a farce. It's quote unquote rigged. And that's the kind of stuff that happens when a team has one winning season since 2012.
Well, Ty, like how much of that is like very typical though with like the number 1 pick? All right. Especially, I think of when, another great situation, Urban Meyer in Jacksonville, right? And him saying like in February, hey, we got the number 1 pick. We already know who we're taking. Like, don't even worry about it. Trevor Lawrence is our guy. Like when you hear all this information, like maybe you just fall in love with someone at the number 1 pick, but like, what's the point of like carrying out the rest of the other processes during draft day? If you're already sold, you might as well just come out and say it.
Well, the roles were reversed, right? This wasn't a team interviewing a quarterback. This was a team recruiting a quarterback. This was the Bears feeling like they needed to convince Caleb Williams it's okay to play quarterback here in Chicago where quarterbacks go to die. So I think that the mentality of everybody from the top down was different. And I don't think that's healthy. I mean, really, at the end of the day, you still need to take the best quarterback. Like all of these scouts are all over the country living out of hotels, away from their families, away from birthdays. Like You've got
it's like, what's the
incorporate
point
all
of
these
having
voices.
that staff if you're not going to like listen to it at least a little bit? I mean, it is the GM's job. Like, they put their job on the line to make the final decision, and they're held accountable above all else. So I totally get that. But yeah, like all these people in that room deserve to at least like put the work that they did out on display and just say like, all right, let's be appreciative for this. It doesn't have to be a long conversation, but I do believe that there might be something to look at here, right?
That's exactly it. Like the way it was put to me by one person pretty high up in the organization on this matter was, okay, if you're George McCaskey, tell Ryan Poles, I know you're in love with this guy. I know you love Caleb Williams. You see Patrick Mahomes. This is your guy, but like at least dive as deep into one other quarterback, two other quarterbacks. Show me I'm crazy. At least do the due diligence with one of these other guys. And that just never was really done. And I think what was bad is when they're going through this process, it very much was skim past any weaknesses, skim past any red flag.
Which is such a mistake. I mean, that's like where you learn everything from somebody, right?
Yeah. Like maybe your listeners remember the USC Notre Dame game, and he was bad in that game. And multiple people said they didn't even sit down and really watch that game. They talked about it, but it was more so, okay, well, let's talk about this because Patrick Mahomes had some of these same issues and he didn't deal with them until the NFL. Caleb Williams already dealt with them. He knows how to handle them with his play style. And, when he cried in his mother's arms, a lot of people feel a lot of ways about that situation. That was kind of talked about, he's just highly competitive. He cares a lot, that kind of thing. Where there's a coach for the Bears who brought that up. I didn't even bring it up. A coach for the Bears last year who said it bothered him watching that clip because of what you don't see. You don't see the teammates and the frame. Like, game ends, emotions are spilled onto the field for 3 hours, and you leave your teammates in the dust to jump up into the crowd. So I never really thought of it like that until he mentioned it. So, but this stuff wasn't talked about in the draft meetings, which is a problem. I think it's, even if you're going to take him, even if that's where it's going, at least create a culture where it's okay to speak up. And scouts are telling me they don't feel like it's okay to speak up there if you don't agree with Ryan Poles, because there's a chance that you're going to be gone and your family's going to have to move.
Man, we got Tyler Dunne joining the Mason Crosby Show. You can check him out at golongtd.com or at Ty Dunne on X. We're talking about his series of House of Dysfunction, talking about Caleb Williams, the Chicago Bears, his whole process. And I find that fascinating. And it's, this is kind of, obviously it was a movie, but, draft day. I mean, this is literally like the same type of situation where it was like, he's the best guy, right? It's like, this is the guy, we're going for him. But then they go into the weeds a little bit, right? And it was like the Bears just weren't willing to do that, or Ryan Poles wasn't willing to do that. Where, again, like I was saying, like you learn so much more about a player from the negative. And it's okay to look at that. And it's like, all right, let's break him down all the way and be like, can we still draft this guy with the negative that we see on tape? And can we coach and get him past some of these moments? And for me to not do that due diligence, they probably watched it, but it's like to not just be critical in that moment just feels like a wild miss in such a big moment to not go into those depths. And obviously it sounds like you talked to people that felt that way as well. They're just like, how do we not look at this? Because I want to ask you, Ty, like, do you think that they felt like they can teach Caleb Williams' work ethic? Do you think you're going to, instill a cultural like shift? Ben Johnson now is going to come in here and teach him how to work harder or work different. I mean, talk to that. I mean, you were in the locker room in Green Bay and you've been in locker rooms for a long time. Like, when guys are just built different, they do things the right way. And those things are not easy to teach, especially whenever you're 22, 23 years old. Like, it's hard to teach, an old dog new tricks. So talk a little bit about that and, kind of what that looks like there for the Chicago Bears.
Yeah. I'm thinking back to the end of last season. There was a coach on that Bears staff who looked at Caleb Williams and said, look, this year it's going to be all on us, right? That's gonna be the narrative. It was the coach's fault. Next year, you got to take some accountability. It's on you to take that step. And I think this is the defining moment of Caleb Williams' NFL career, because last year, from OTAs into training camp, this whole role reversal of Bears recruiting player, not necessarily Bears interviewing player, it really did kind of seep onto the field. I don't think like Ryan Poles just sat down and said, we've got to coddle this guy. But actions speak louder than words. His best friend, who, quote unquote, by a coach on the Bears staff, couldn't play a lick, is on the practice squad. Like he barely did anything at USC in Nevada, but he's Caleb's friend, so he's hanging around on the practice squad. They completely just neutered their playbook, like we discussed, just changing everything to kind of placate and do what Caleb wants to do. So yeah, it by the time they wanted to hold him accountable and be tough with him, with Thomas Brown as that interim head coach, it was too late. Where I think now you better get on board with Ben Johnson, with how he wants to run the offense and how he's coaching you hard and being accountable, or you'll be done. Right? It's gonna be one way or the other. This could work out still, because Ben Johnson is incredibly smart, and you saw it Monday night.
He's going to stay the course. Yeah.
Yeah. It could go that route, or what is Ben Johnson's breaking point at this? If this continued and the struggles that we heard about in 24 continue in 25, I could see Ben Johnson having the power, unlike Eberflus, Waldron, and Thomas Brown, having the power to say, no, I'm making $13 million a year. We're running my offense. I think Tyson Bagent can do it. We're going to go to him.
Yeah, that would be wild.
I don't know.
That would be awesome.
It's realistic at some point.
The extension speaks so much louder now with you, Ty, to Tyson Bagent. Ty, we could talk all day about this, I'm sure. We're up against the clock kind of here. Appreciate you jumping on. Why don't you plug your stuff again, though, if people want to read some more about it, Ty, because this was awesome to hear you.
No, thanks so much for the opportunity, man. And great to see you again, too, Mason.
Heck yeah, Tyler. I appreciate you jumping on, buddy.
Yeah. Just golongtd.com. We no ads, no sponsors. Really, it's just we're completely powered by the people, because we just want to maintain our independence to think freely and do these kind of deep dives. So just $8 a month or $50 for the year, and you can get all 3 parts to this Bears series. I'd imagine there's a lot of Packer folk out there that will appreciate it.
For sure.
Yeah, for sure.
Get them excited for that. Yeah, that Bears matchup later in the season, where it's like, oh man, they're a mess down there. Let's go and take this thing down.
Ty, thank you so much. Have a good rest of your day, my man.
Hey, thanks so much, Tommy Mason.
All right. Appreciate you, Ty.
There he is, Tyler Dunne, Go Long TD, joining us on the Fan Guest Hotline, powered by Gruber Law. One call, that's all. On the other side, we'll wrap things up in the first hour, and then we got a guest again at 10 o'clock. Our good friend Andy over at Verizon will pop on for a little bit here, talk some shop too. It is the Mason Crosby Show, presented by Verizon, the official 5G network of the Green Bay Packers. Welcome back to the Mason Crosby Show. Tommy Wirtz, Packers all-time leading scorer, Mason Crosby. What an awesome chat with Ty Dunne we just got done with, Mace.
Yeah, I'm going to do a deeper dive into that article because it's it just seems like a wild time down there in Chicago, and I'm here for all of it. I just want to see what happens this year with Ben Johnson.
Yeah, I mean, it couldn't have happened to a better fan base, right?
Yeah,
I mean,
exactly. They needed
that's
that.
kind of how we all feel. You know what? Newsflash. Bad franchises are full of dysfunction. Like, that was really what we just got down to
facts.
with Ty Dunne. Mitch Thunder Nellis going to join us on the other side of the 10 o'clock hour. Our guy Andy Brady from Verizon will pop on. It's been a while since we talked to Andy, Mace.
Yeah, it'll be good to see what's going on there in the world of Verizon and what they have rolling out for all the customers. Everybody looking to switch over. It's he's always so great, and we're going to get all that insight and everything that's going on in his world as he's running and doing amazing things for the troops too. Like veterans and the stuff they do for the military is just unbelievable.
Great guy, Andy Brady, coming up next, and Mitch Thunder Nellis here on the Mason Crosby Show, presented by Verizon, the official 5G network of the Green Bay Packers.
a Super Bowl champion.
The Green Bay Packers have won the Super Bowl.
The Packers' all-time leading scorer.
A game winner for Mason Crosby.
It's time for the Mason Crosby Show with Mitch Nellis, presented by Verizon, the #1 network in Milwaukee, on 1250 AM and 105.7 FM The Fan, powered by the Potawatomi Sportsbook, and on the free Odyssey app.
So I can go through all the intros and the introductions and all the things that I've expected to do, but all I want to say is, Mason, it's so good to see you, man. Like,
good to see you, man.
It's good
you there
to
at
be with you.
Potawatomi, just up in the sports book,
I
just
am.
crushing it.
Here, can you see? Here, there's the
I
there's
love
the
it.
TV with the
That
logo.
studio's great. Yeah, it's that one's
is
top,
awesome
that's
up
so
here.
top notch. You got any
Yep, and we're
games
gonna be
on? What's
watching
going on there? I mean, is there anything going on? I mean, horse racing, dog racing, like what's happening over there?
There's tennis.
Oh, is
in
Sinner
Sao
playing?
Paulo.
Yannick Sinner playing?
No, Sinner's not playing.
All right.
But no, there's going to be some horse racing on soon. Right now, I'm looking at lots of screens of Stephen A. and Greeny and all the talking heads, because that's our morning shows, right?
Yeah.
On all the big networks, they just like to hear themselves talk.
Yeah, which I guess we all do now.
Right? Yeah, we kind of do. Although I like to hear you talk. My name's Mitch Nellis, aka Thunder. He's Mason Crosby. Tommy Wirtz is here. We are the Mason Crosby Show, presented by Verizon, the official 5G network of the Green Bay Packers. I got my Verizon phone right here, which the gentleman who's going to be joining us on the show, yeah, you got yours too, Mason. Amazing customer service, amazing help. I was telling Andy, I've been with Verizon since I got a phone in 95 or whatever, never left. Never moved, never changed. Maybe it was 90. It was more like 98. 95 would have been early. It was more like 98, 99.
Little
But still,
phone.
like longer. I've had a Verizon phone longer than Tommy's been alive. That's
Nice.
Basically the point of the story.
That makes you
Joining us
old.
now. Yeah, right. I'm not saying I'm not old. Look at my hair. I'm old. This is the Mason Crosby Show. I'm at the Potawatomi Sportsbook. I'm so excited to be here for the few hours. We're going to listen to the leadoff show. We're going to watch some of the Brewers game here. But joining us now on the Mason Crosby Show, right, Tommy? We're ready to roll? Ready? The one, the only president. Can I make him president, CEO, owner of Verizon? Is he owner of Verizon yet or not just yet?
I don't think you can do that. I don't think you can just do that, but yeah.
But he is our best friend, Andy Brady. Andy from Verizon, thank you for jumping on the show today.
Mitch Mason, good to see you guys. Good to hear your voices. I think we owe you a trophy or something with that years of service, Mitch. I'll figure out something the next time I see you two.
It's been a minute.
I think Mitch would like a sash that like just says like Verizon's longest standing
like a man
customer.
bag.
Yeah.
If you see, I'm actually wearing my Verizon quarter zip as well today. I'm rocking it, baby.
Well,
Listen,
hey,
the creative juices that we have at Verizon, Mitch, will not disappoint you when I get your sash or whatever we get you as one of the best customers.
Tiara.
yeah,
A Verizon tiara, a tiara that spells Verizon on it would be great.
We'll do something for you.
I love it.
heck
Well,
yeah,
Andy,
Andy.
thank you so much for jumping on the show. Go ahead.
It's been a minute. Last time I think we saw each other, we were at the NFL draft.
That's
up in
right.
Wisconsin, and I remember it was freezing cold. You guys had like a space heater and a lot of fun. But now we're in the throes. The season is with us. I was at the Packer golf outing this weekend or on Monday, Mason. We got to talk about that here for a moment. But I'm really happy to be here. I'm also super excited because if you remember when we were at the draft, we talked about giving $1 million to veterans for the draft. Right. And then we were going to talk about every win that the Packers have. We're going to do another 100,000. And based on last weekend's win over the Detroit Lions, we got another $100,000 that we just put into the till to help veterans pay for all of their health care debt. And we are so excited to sponsor this and to be a partner with the Packers. And we talked about it. Every win is $100,000. At this rate, we might have to up the ante to $1.7 million. I mean, we're 1-0. What do you guys think?
Exactly. Yeah. You go 1-0 and it's just like, all right, the sky's the limit now. You better put that money aside and just get that thing ready to, just to be released game after game, because another one's coming up quick. I mean, Packers play Thursday nights at home against Commanders. I mean, what was the energy and the juice, in that space? I heard it was rocking. Were you at the game on Sunday? But I heard when Micah Parsons, when that defense came out, that stadium was shaking, and it didn't stop shaking for most of the game. And the energy up there in Green Bay is electric. And just talk about all that, how Verizon supports that and what they're doing. Everyone probably had, great service. Wi-Fi was rolling. Verizon is doing all that there in Green Bay. So just talk about all the things that y'all got going right now.
Yeah, well, thank you for that. It was a great showing. At the end of the day, the technology at Lambeau is second to none. And at the end of the day, we have been investing pretty heavily in that stadium for quite some time. Now we have the Verizon Loft.
Nice.
It's not as necessary right now, but give it another month and wait till it's nice and warm and toasty in there. It'll be even better. But we had incredible coverage, and I'll tell you, I'm interested to hear you guys' thoughts on Micah. But it was loud. It was loud. It was rambunctious. It was everything you wanted to be. It was fun. It was a great environment. I'll tell you, it was in Lambeau, in particular, in Green Bay. All that stuff we talked about at the draft. We had put in about $21 million in investment into the infrastructure for the draft. That was incredible. I mean, I'm interested to hear from anyone who wants to reach out to me about an experience that was different, but our customers had a great experience up there, and the product on the field was so great. The weather was good. I don't know. It's one of those things where you just feel great. You know what I mean? It was a wonderful time.
Yeah, I know. We got to talk to you at the draft, kind of as everything was, starting off, the buzz, the excitement. And then, I mean, it had to be better than expected even. And it just went off without a hitch. Verizon was on full display. Everything was going great. I mean, watching that game on Sunday, I mean, it was something to behold. And, I think everybody's pretty excited. I did implore the fans to bring it, for those home games. And, I'm not going to say they did it for me, but, I do believe that they brought it on Sunday, and they're going to continue to do so all season long, no doubt.
I'll tell you, I had the opportunity to see two games, and I don't even know if I want to say this on this audience, but with this audience, but I was at the Bears game Monday night and the Packers, and I'll tell you, there's a lot to be said about the competitiveness in the NFC North right now. It's incredible, and I think with the couple additions, the receivers that you guys have at the Packers now, and obviously Micah, I think you're in a very, very good spot. We're so happy to actually sponsor all four of the teams, but.
I know you got to go all over the place, right? You're just you put on a bunch of different hats and just kind of make sure you stay status quo out there.
Well, that
must be rough. You have to go to all the games.
Mitch, it's hard. It's a hard life, but I'll tell you, the biggest one, our biggest sponsor though, is the veterans and the veteran community across that whole market. So if you think about it. In Green Bay and in Chicago and in Detroit, it's part of my market. We are giving away for every win for each of those teams. We're giving $100,000 every single time to veterans who can't afford to pay for their health care debt. And so when the Packers aren't playing one of them, if you find the need to root at least kind of in your heart, every time that happens, we're helping those that made this country a better place. By helping pay off their healthcare debt. So a little bit of nicety, at least on the scoring line when it comes to that, because we're helping so many people. It's been a great thing overall as a whole.
I like that. Yeah, we can always root for veterans. We can root for Verizon and what they're doing. I think a lot of us, a lot of fans, everyone in Wisconsin can be on board with that. So I don't think anyone's going to be that's going to be too hard for them to root for what our veterans have done for us and what Verizon's doing to support them. What an awesome cause. I know you'll have some initiatives going, some things going as well as people are kind of, getting, having to change networks. Cellular is having some issues. They're transitioning over to some different things. Tell us how Verizon can step in and, kind of be a choice for anybody that has questions in that space.
Well, Mason, I'll tell you, as the number one network in Wisconsin by root metrics, and the number one certainly at Mitch Nellis's house, I can tell you that right now. We'll talk about that here in a moment.
Amen.
We are helping every one of the U.S. Cellular customers. They have to move off their network. They have been purchased by that company in pink. At least the customers have been, and they have to switch. And the good news is, why would you? All these rural Wisconsin communities, these farmers, these small businesses, these families, why wouldn't you want to switch to the best network in Wisconsin, which is Verizon, who is the proud sponsor of the Green Bay Packers? And I'll tell you, I think because they have to switch, we've got some incredible deals right now. I'll tell you, just to put it in perspective, anyone who wants to come over from U.S. Cellular, you want to bring your phone over. Let's say, for example, you want 4 lines of service. We'll give it to you for $60 right now. It is the best deal we have ever done, and I'll tell you, it's just for these customers here that need a switch, and we're happy to help any of them that want to come over. No waiting in line. Just come on over and move over to Verizon, and don't go to that pink side. Come over to Verizon, the number one network in Wisconsin, and the official 5G sponsor of the Green Bay Packers.
I love it. We have Andy Brady joining the Mason Crosby Show. He is the president of the Great Lakes area of the Midwest for Verizon, and he is, he's crushing it every day. Yes, he has to go to all the enemy territory, for the Packers, but they're doing awesome initiatives for our veterans, for to help their medical relief debt and pay that off. So every time the Packers win, every time I think any of the teams in the division win games, y'all are giving money to help those veterans. But I do want to take a side note here, Andy, and ask about, you mentioned that golf, the golf event there around the Packers game. Did you win it again this year, or were you missing a key part? I mean, you had to be missing one key player, right?
Well, certainly. I want to make sure, with all due respect, because when I say that on the front end, it means
you
on
can
the
say
back
whatever
end,
you want.
whatever I say. Yeah,
exactly.
You're missing a key cog in the wheel, a key all-time leading scorer cog in the wheel. I had an incredible partner. Lynn Dickey was my.
Oh, Lynn's a good player. Yeah.
He's competitive at 75 years old. He was crushing the ball. He's still competitive as today as he was, 40 years ago, 30 years or 50 years ago now. But we end up third. And 14 out of John Kuhn, his team won. And I guess they were crushing it. So,
yeah. I wonder, did y'all not buy enough mulligans, or, what was going on over there? I mean, I figured you'd go out there and win it at all costs.
I'm telling you right now, we had 13 birdies and an eagle.
Wow.
I thought that was going to win it, but apparently not. I think somebody was juicing the skids or something. I'm not quite sure, but
we're not going to accuse anybody. We're not going to accuse anybody, but some question marks out there.
And John Kuhn is an official team captain of the Potawatomi Sportsbook right now, so I'm not allowed to say anything negative about him. but Andy, 14 birdies and an eagle sounds pretty darn good to me.
I was impressed. And by the way, a lot of it was Lynn Dickey. He's incredible. And we were playing with the guys with the American Family Insurance. They did a great job with us too. And we had a great time up there. But, it's anytime when you could spend some time with the Packers organization, they're first class and they do things right. And it makes me feel good about putting Verizon's name on a partnership like that, because I'll tell you, we could choose to put our money in a lot of places. We choose in the network in Wisconsin. We choose in sponsoring the Mason Crosby Show. We choose to sponsor it in the Green Bay Packers. So it was a great event, and the weather couldn't have been better. But it was. We were missing one key cog, Mason, and that's why next year it's you and I, bro.
That's right. Yeah, we'll put it on the calendar, and I'll make sure to be there for you to dominate and nice. get that trophy back in the right hands. I mean, we gotta go and do this. How many years ago was that? That we did get it done. What's that? 15 years ago. I mean,
it's got to be. I mean, and I don't know. We'll probably put that on Mitch's award that we're going to give him.
Exactly.
We'll put official winner of the Green Bay Packer Golf. It was probably 15 years ago, and I'll tell you, you're in tip-top shape with. I think that the handicap was in the pluses, not in the minuses. So you're in a good spot there, Mason.
Yeah, I think that was probably 4 kids ago, maybe 3 kids ago. So I've whittled it back to where it needs to be, but it's a work in progress. Those kids' schedules, it's a weird time of life. They don't allow me to golf every second of every day anymore.
Ridiculous.
Ridiculous. The family gets away of the handicap. I think you got the right intentions there, Mason.
That's right. Andy, hey, I want to ask another question of you. We do our pick segment on Thursdays. We're going to be picking games for the upcoming weekend. Just a recap from last week. I went 4-1 with my picks. Just want to make sure
anything to do.
Make sure that's out there. But no, I want Andy to get involved in our picks. So help us pick for this Packers game. Thursday night football, big game. Obviously, Packers playing at home again. Verizon's going to be on full display. What do you expect to happen in that game? Are you picking the Packers again to win that one and get to 2-0 so y'all can give another $100,000 to the veterans here in the great state of Wisconsin?
Well, of course, my heart goes to the veterans for sure. So let me give you my prognostication here. I think that the defensive line has stepped up. I think in a lot of respects, the speed of how Micah plays is raising the game of Rashawn Gary and Lucas. I think that whole organization just got better. That also takes pressure off the linebackers. Your linebackers had an incredible game, and I think your secondary played well. That's going to be important, obviously, when you're playing against the Commanders and they've got a super staunch offensive team. But I think you're in year 2, and I think you're going to have a little bit of a letdown here with the Commanders and Jaden Daniels. So I think you guys are going to wind up well. It's going to be kind of strength on strength, and it's crazy to say your strength is your defense now. And if you can stay healthy, gosh, the world is your oyster. And more importantly, if you get those young receivers playing the way that they can play, and your line is continues to stay healthy, I seriously think you guys have an opportunity for greatness this year. So I'm going Packers, and I'll go Packers +3.
I like it. You even know the lines.
Nice.
I love it.
The Packers. Love it.
Mitch is there, Potawatomi, and he's so he's seeing it all in full action right now.
I am.
Here's
it is right in front of me. Go ahead, Andy.
Mitch, here's what I'm willing to do. If I'm right, I'm willing to come on each week and give you my prediction, because that means that we're creating this buzz for the Green Bay Packers and this drumbeat. And it's, whether it's luck or what, we got to keep it up. If I'm wrong, then I guess I'm never invited back. But that's my commitment to you, gentlemen.
All right, I love it.
So the Packers here at the Potawatomi Sportsbook, the Packers are 3.5-point favorites. So you do have to give another half point. I know you only wanted to give 3, Andy, but you got to give 3.5. The Packers are favored by 3.5. Are you okay with that?
I don't believe Mason bet against the spread. He was just the wins and losses at his 4-1.
No,
I'm just going to go with.
He was with.
With the spread, except for Yannick
yeah.
Center. Except for Yannick Center, which these guys are a little upset about. But I just pick winners.
Pick the Packers. You can pick the Packers money line. You can pick the Packers to win. You can do that.
I'm going to go money line. Packers win. I think 3 points is. Those teams are those two teams are incredible. I think you could.
They are.
You could also throw in the Eagles and theoretically the Lions, which you guys already beat. And those are probably the 4 best teams in the NFL, or at least in the NFC, I should say. So, a win's a win. That's what I would say.
Well, absolutely. Well, Andy, I just want to give a shout out to your folks over at the Bayshore store, because, like I said, I've been a customer forever, and I think ever since I started going to the Bayshore store, Mo, the manager, has been there, and I feel like the cell phone industry is a business where, like, teammates come and go, managers come and go, they go to the next company or the next store or whatever. And the fact that this guy's been here for 10 plus years, his team is awesome. They took great care of me. We had an incident where my daughter's phone just went on the fritz. We went to the Apple store. They didn't help. The Verizon store got it done in like half an hour. It was amazing. I would just want to give a shout out overall to the customer service that our Verizon teammates give us, and just give you a thank you for always being there for me and my family.
Mitch, I appreciate you saying that. Mo is incredible. I'll tell you, any store you want to go to, that should be the same regiment. We take care of the people who take care of us. So I certainly appreciate your business, and Mason, I appreciate your business as well. And whether you're an incredible sportscaster, or a legend with the name Thunder, or a legend with a Thunder kick, or you're in rural Wisconsin, we're here to support anyone and everyone in the state of Wisconsin, and specifically all you U.S. Cellular customers. Please come on over to us. We're happy to help you. We're happy to give you a great deal. We're happy to move, to take that pain in the neck, which it kind of is, to move from carrier to carrier. And I know you guys have been loyal for a long time. Come give us a try. And just like Mitch, who's been with us for, I think before cell phones were invented, it sounds like.
It feels like
apparently, yes.
Bring you guys
relax. I love it. Andy, awesome. Thank you so much for jumping on today. And if the Packers win, we'll be talking to you next week. When the Packers win. When the Packers win.
When the Packers win. Gentlemen, have a great weekend, great week, and thank you so much for having me on. And all you customers out there, thanks for your business, and all your customers, come on and join us. Thanks, guys.
Thanks, Andy. Yeah, really appreciate it. Keep doing great work.
Absolutely awesome. Andy Brady with Verizon. President of the Great Lakes region, CEO of Verizon, owner of Verizon Wireless, right? Is he?
Okay.
Not yet.
Okay.
Yeah.
Cut all of that. You're out of control.
I just like to promote everybody.
Yeah, exactly.
Andy gets a promotion.
Make up titles.
Mason Crosby, the all-time leading scorer in NFL history.
Yes, exactly.
Right.
We are streaming on YouTube, and we're on the internet, so I own the internet now. Yes.
Yeah.
Exactly.
Why not? Like Al Gore used to own it. Now you own it.
Now I own it.
That's how it works.
Pass it the baton.
This is the Mason Crosby Show, presented by Verizon, the official 5G network of the Green Bay Packers. I'm at the Potawatomi Sportsbook. I'm here till 2. Lunch is at 12:30. If you want to come and have lunch, we're going to have lunch at 12:30. We come back. We've got lots more to cover on the Mason Crosby Show. I'm sure Tommy and Mason will just make fun of me for being the worst prognosticator in the history, and that's okay. I'm here for it. Let's go.
Yeah, we'll discuss that. Maybe a little bit more tomorrow too, as we start our next pick segment. But I'll probably just keep it up until I fall down. I'm just going to stay on the top, and I'm going to just keep talking about my victorious week 1, because that's what we're doing. Once you're 1-0,
That's right.
You're on top. You're on top for the moment.
I'm just more happy that Mason didn't completely forget how to golf and remembered how to golf yesterday. And so congratulations to Mason and Lefty. I assume Jay Happ also golfs Lefty?
Yeah. Yep. He's got a wicked slice, but he got it dialed in a little bit, and man, what a great guy. So we'll talk a little bit more on that on the back end as we talk a little Brewers baseball. Like, it'll be perfect way to tie that in. So we'll do that after the break as we. Yeah, a little concerned. And we knew the Rangers were going to be good, but we'll jump on that a little bit more in the next segment.
They're a tough matchup, that's for sure. This is the Mason Crosby Show, 1250 AM, 105.7 FM, The Fan, free on the Odyssey and iHeart apps. You're listening to The Fan. This is the Mason Crosby Show, presented by Verizon, the official 5G network of the Green Bay Packers. The fan studios are powered by the Potawatomi Sportsbook. I'm here today. Lunch is at 12:30. I'm Mitch Nellis. He's Mason Crosby. Our thanks again to Andy Verizon Brady for joining us and talking. He's got the Packers money line, and he better get it right, because every time the Packers win, it's $100,000 for our veterans in our community to help them with their medical bills. And we all know how crazy medical bills are and just stupid. And so to help our veterans with that is an absolute awesome job that he's doing.
So great.
But we want to, yeah, it is. We want to talk a little bit about the Brewers in the last half hour of the show, but something caught our eye before we want to jump into the Brewers. Tommy, Big Dub Wirtz, is a peruser of the interwebs.
Thank you.
And when things go sideways, Tommy jumps on and he's like, "What is going on here?" Tommy, set us up for what is this story?
Yeah.
How does this even happen? What is going on here?
So I saw this, and we're all about business ethics, college in this area of 1020. And there was some huge discourse going around on social media after Haley Sawyer. You guys familiar with her at all? No?
Don't follow her. No.
Correct. Yeah, you probably don't. But AP voter for the college football top 25 AP rankings.
Is she just a random person?
She works for a publication, and she is based out of Southern California. Do you know, actually, good friend Jocko is an AP voter for the Wisconsin representative, right?
Jocko will be on Middays with Thunder on Friday.
Nice.
So we will talk to him.
So there you go. Yeah, definitely bring him up to this. Well, after the University of Florida lost to the University of South Florida, she moved Florida up 2 spots in the AP voting.
Yeah.
This got people already questioning, why would you do that? They lost to South Florida, and she left South Florida off of the rankings as well. She then...
By the way,
yes,
Tommy, real quick, I just want to say, this has got to be new. On Twitter, her posts are protected.
Yes.
Only approved followers can see. I assume this is brand new.
She got dragged on Twitter, not because of her rankings, but she then responded as to why she did this. Here is Haley Sawyer on why she had her AP voting the way it was.
But as far as what my votes are and what my process is, I wake up early in the morning after covering a game late in the night before. Don't want to go too much into my progress or process or logic, but I will say I appreciate everybody's interaction on social media and all of your feedback.
Sounds like it.
There's tons of people that vote on the AP poll, and it's not a perfect system, but at the end of the day, no matter who you pick, it does even out because there's so many people who vote. And like I said, it's really fun for discussion. It doesn't, probably matter in the end, but I'm glad that people are having a really good time.
What?
It doesn't matter?
It
no
doesn't
matter
matter
who you pick. No matter who you pick, it evens out in the end.
Yeah.
You are picking.
You wanna know why?
It does matter. That's why you're on this.
Yes. Why is it a bad system? Because of you. Because of people like you. What are you doing? Just willy-nilly throwing teams up and down, all over the place. Now, unfortunately, Haley had this comment, and now
I will say Florida did get 70 votes.
Yeah,
for to be in the top 25
for sure. No, 100%. It is actually exposing a full list of all the problems with AP voters on the college football committee, or on the AP poll rather. But Mitch, as someone who went into journalism, right? That's a terrible comment to make on what I'm writing on doesn't matter.
No, it really is. And looking at her bio, she covers USC sports for the SoCal News Group. I don't know if she's a writer or a video vlogger or blogger or what she is. But honestly, if I was the AP, I would take away her vote immediately. I would just take it and not necessarily because of how egregious the vote was, but because of her reaction.
Just the process. I'm not going to get into the process and her intentionality.
And it doesn't matter.
Feels like it doesn't matter. She can throw out anything and it's going to even out. the people
like
that
I would say,
the votes are going to even out.
I would say to her, if I was the AP, I'd say, well, if you think it doesn't matter, then you don't get a vote anymore. We'll give it to somebody who's going to take it more seriously. There are people out there. Every school has a reporter who covers the team and gets, I don't know if she's the only one. I assume there are others who cover USC specifically who have votes. But the fact that she had, the fact that she had Florida moving up is obviously silly. But then to come on and say, hey, listen, just come on and say, hey, listen, I made a mistake. I cover late night West Coast football. Yeah. I woke up early Sunday morning. I filled it out. I misread the score. Like I didn't realize that Florida lost. I'll correct it next week. I messed up. Just say that.
Yeah. Or again, 70 other people voted for Florida. So it's not like nobody thought like they were still an okay team. So it's just like, I still think Florida is like going to be a solid team. Like they will be back into the top 25. This was a blip in the, on the road for them. Right. And like, it's fine to vote for that team, but yes, how she did it was just ridiculous. And then the double down on just this lack of process in a sense. It's just she's like, I don't want to talk about my process. Well, you don't have one. You just kind of start, just picking random teams and then just saying it doesn't really matter.
So Mason, in a way, this reminds me of the coach who messes up end of game clock management and then comes out when he's called on it by the media, either post game or Monday or whatever, and says, no, we did exactly what we wanted to do. Like, we know what we're doing with the clock management, and you people in the media and you fans are all idiots. Not saying it quite like that, but kind of giving that tone where we all know they messed up, whether it's the Bears scoring with 2:02 left instead of kicking a field goal with 2:40 left, or tons of different examples that we've seen over the years. Like, what do you say to the, how are you supposed to react when a coach clearly makes an error in the end of game clock management and then I think it's even worse when they double down and say, no, we did it exactly right. We did it the way we wanted it to. Well, then you're an idiot, right?
Yeah. And there was a lot of reaction as well from Twitter of like other AP writers for this too, guys. Like there, Stephen Means, who I can't remember, he's somewhere in the South base. He's on the list. There is like a full list now of who everyone voted for because of this outrage that kind of surfaced up. Stephen Means writes in, as someone who actually votes in the AP and puts a lot of effort into deciding his top 25, he takes offense to this, and it makes the rest of them look bad during this. And you remember Jake Butt? You remember that from Michigan, Mitch? You remember him back in the day, the tight end?
Of course. Yeah, absolutely.
So he's an analyst now, and he has a good comment on it here, too, that it absolutely 100% without a doubt matters. There's no thinking otherwise. It matters. Rankings shape perspective and perception shapes narrative. Narrative absolutely matters in a subjective committee pick-based system. Indefensible to say it doesn't matter. Indefensible to say it doesn't matter in the end. Like everyone, like there is thousands of comments. Like I just thought she's got to have lost her vote. There's no way she keeps it from there. And it was just a massive storyline. And I think that this is the official rankings, like until the CFP, and even college football could now probably be like, well, do we even want to work with the AP to get our ranking system now? Like, don't you think that could be a possibility, Mason?
It could be. I mean, they're going to question all things. I mean, I would say like they're then all of a sudden go into like an inquiry and be like, okay, like who do you have on this committee? Who's making these votes? We need to like shore up that they're doing their due diligence and doing it the right way. I mean, this is business ethics.
Yeah.
And college can't take this hit right now. They can't take a hit where they're just like, all right, like who is voting? Like there's low-hanging fruit on who you can pick in the top 10, right? Like it's like, okay, these are the best teams. But I would say that, that 12 to 25 can be pretty subjective. And if you're not doing the work, and especially that one's an easy one. Like Florida lost USF. They're out of this. They're out of it. Like just don't even mess with it. And then don't double down that like, well, and it's like she didn't even just say like I picked Florida because of this reason, because I think they are a good team. Like, it's like, it was just
She's like, oh, it doesn't matter.
It's just,
Yeah.
I didn't really care. Somebody else will cancel me out, and it's not going to matter.
Yeah, I'm a South California girl. I don't really care what happens on the East Coast. Like, you East Coasters think you're so great. I live in Southern California, so whatever I say is fine.
But that'd be like us. That'd be us being AP poll writers, and like, we joking aside, and I'm like, I'm gonna vote for Wisconsin right now to be
right. Yeah,
they're 2-0. And it's like
they have a better record.
They're 2-0.
Yeah,
like they haven't played anybody, but like I'm gonna vote for them just because it doesn't matter. Might as well throw that vote out there.
Another
right?
AP,
like you're not doing your due diligence.
Yeah, another AP voter here, Johnny McGongal. Yeah, I nailed that.
Wow.
Nailed it.
Yeah,
nailed it. Can you spell? Can you use that in a sentence?
Jaden McDanielson likes Johnny McGongal's
right, McGonagall from Harry Potter.
Yeah, he's a Harry Potter guy. Yeah,
Professor
sweet. Harry
McGonagall.
Potter gets a vote for the AP.
Johnny says, this is my 5th season being an AP top 25 voter. A lot of long nights tinkering, a lot of keeping tabs in the press box, reading recaps, and Pac-12 after dark. Most voters put a lot of time into it. Most of us are honored to do it. Mistakes happen, but this makes the rest of us look bad. Like even more so, Mitch, like giving to the point of just making the AP vote look completely useless because people who are voting for it think the same thing.
Right. So I agree about that, about the AP vote. And silly, I don't know that it makes the rest of the voters look bad, because if the rest of the voters are doing their due diligence, I think they're doing a good job. I think with college football, whether it's the CFP committee or whoever runs that like, I think they're laughing about this, because they're like, this is why we took the bowl games away from the AP and the coaches' rankings.
Yep.
This is why we created our own committee, because all y'all are idiots and we know ball and nobody else knows ball. And we're going to have this is why we can create our top 12 that has nothing to do with AP ranking or coaches ranking. We can do it ourselves.
And Mason, this is like the same
and it's
committee.
a tighter knit committee, and like they can focus.
They're also like the same ones voting for the awards, right? It's always like the AP NFL MVP or the AP NCAA MVP. Like, this is a terrible line for not just the college football rankings, but like the Associated Press all together. Like, what is valid now with their voting?
Yeah, well, I mean, I think the one silver lining is that this came out in week 2 of college football, right? Like, like you find this out like, week.
You could fix it.
Yeah, week 8 or whatever, and you're just like, oh my gosh, like this person has been voting for just kind of ridiculous stuff and not caring about the process. Because I look back as like being a kid and just like diving into the top 25. Like anytime like your team got into the top 25, like there's an energy, there is an excitement. I do think it actually it's a motivator for college football, for the teams that are in it, right? Like they take pride in it. They like get a boost. Fans get a boost if your team gets voted in the top 25. So it does make a difference. And I thought that line that you said, Tommy, about the narrative and the stories and all of that, it does. It literally writes the story of a college football season, the movement in and out of the top 25. And it's just like any vote, right? Like your vote does matter. Like you're been picked to do this. Do your job and do it at the right level, or step away. If you don't want to do the work, then step off of it, right? Like that's just kind of how it is in this situation.
Completely agree.
Absolutely.
You got me fired up again.
I told you.
Yeah,
like,
you should be fired up.
That
about
was a
this.
crazy response. I mean, again, just
do these AP writers want NIL money now?
Right.
All right.
Go to the transfer portal. I don't know what's going on.
I'm going to take this conversation, but I want to ask a different question. So, Mason, I have a question for you about this.
Okay. All right.
The Badgers haven't gotten any votes.
Yeah.
They're 2-0, but no votes.
I am surprised they didn't get a vote.
I'm
joking aside, like I would be
right.
like, you'd think they'd get a vote.
Not from anybody local, but I'm surprised there's not somebody who like recognizes that Wisconsin's traditionally been a good team and they just throw them in at 24, 25, whatever it might be. Here's my question, though. Could the Badgers lose on Saturday 27-24 or 21-17 and get a vote even with a loss at Alabama?
Yeah, Haley Sawyer will vote for him. So that's
all right, relax. Tommy, relax. I didn't ask you. I know you hate the Badgers. We all know you hate the Badgers.
I don't think so. I think without a vote here at 2-0, and like, I mean, a good showing in Alabama will get them on people's radar. Like, I think if they have a good showing in Alabama, it's close. If they don't win, they're 2-1. The following week, if they go and win, and they'll get votes, right? I think it's like this is that game that is going to get them in that national on that national radar. So this is a big game for the Badgers. Not just, obviously the hope is you can go somehow steal a win, but if you show something, you now will be, you should be in the AP, in all the poll, at least on their radar. Here's something too, though, that I think is ridiculous. Like, USF shouldn't be 18. Like, I don't understand how they jumped from nothing to 18 on this. Like, how do they jump that high? Like,
so I think that's an indication. Yeah, I think that's an indication of early season. I think like if they had beaten Florida in week 8, I think the teams are pretty firmly entrenched. I think when you have a big win in week 2, people all of a sudden reset their expectations. Really good. Right, this team could actually be good, and so they'll throw them up maybe even high. You can make bigger jumps and bigger drops the first couple of weeks. I think now that we're getting to week 3 is kind of the week, and especially week 4. Because traditionally in college football, you would play 3 non-conference games and then you would get into conference in week 4. That's not always the case anymore, but that's what it used to be like year after year. So I do think that within the first 3 weeks, you see more big risers and big droppers, and then it starts to even itself out.
I get that, but I'd still put them at 24, 25, like just creep in there. Right? Because I mean, they beat Florida, who's 13. They do play Miami next week, which they'll probably get destroyed. If they don't get destroyed, then okay, like good on them. That was a good choice. But then listen to South Florida's schedule: SC State, Charlotte, North Texas, FAU, Memphis, UTSA, Navy, UAB. Like, now you've put them at 18. Like, if they win, if somehow they show well against Miami or beat Miami, are they going to be a top 10 team? Like, because then they're not going to lose another game, and with that schedule, like, I think that's a dangerous.
State. I mean, they also beat Boise State week 1, so it's not like they beat a nobody. If they beat Boise State, Florida, and Miami, that's a team. Yeah.
But if they get throttled by Miami and then win out,
no, if they get throttled,
are they going to be in they're going to be a top 15
they'll be in the top
team?
20. Top 20. I mean, if they lose, so
you just think it's early season bias, and then it'll it'll shake itself out.
But if they end up 11-1, if they lose to Miami, let's say they lose to Miami by 2 touchdowns, and then they go undefeated the rest of the way, they probably deserve to be ranked. Like, you go 11-1,
ranked for sure.
But you don't deserve to get in the top 12 for that schedule. Like,
and then I think obviously that's another point about this, Tommy, like why it doesn't matter, because Boise State was ranked. Like, what if they're not a good team? Like Florida, what if they're not a good team? And now you're just you're just doing all of this, and it is early season, but it's like all of that does matter, where it's like you have to keep track of all of those teams that were ranked before. How did USF, like, if they beat them, if they get crushed by Miami, then Boise State and Florida aren't good, then you're like, USF might not be as good of a team as you thought. Do
you guys want to guess our betting odds, courtesy of the Potawatomi Sportsbook, the spread for USF and Miami?
25.
22.
18.
Okay.
All right. So
I think that's about right. That's about probably,
plus 600 outright winners of South Florida. So if you're feeling extra juicy.
Well, I'm here right now. Just $10 wins me $60 on that one. Let's go.
Might as well, right? I mean, again, like, you can't discount that, like, what they had as Boise State and Florida were ranked teams, and USF took them down. So, I mean, you might be able to sneak something out there. If USF's the real deal, I'd go put some money on it, Mitch. You're right there, Pato. Just go do it.
I am right here. He's Mason Crosby. He's Tommy Wirtz. I'm Mitch Nellis. We are the Mason Crosby Show, presented by Verizon, the official 5G network of the Green Bay Packers. We're in the fan studios, powered by the Potawatomi Sportsbook. I'm at the Potawatomi Sportsbook, and it is an absolute blast. Mason, can't wait till you're back in town and we get to hang out at the Sportsbook and at the casino, because it's always a blast. At some point, we should have like a fan party. like a fan get together for like at the sports.
Just having thoughts, like
maybe
we just
think it's fun, like
just a little hangout, little mess around there.
Just a hangout, like hey, everybody
done
get
that
Mason a high
already.
five.
I did that around the draft. Yeah,
we did that during the draft. That's true. Yeah, well,
so let's get another one scheduled. I'll be in town next week. So,
well, let's see what we can do. This is the Mason Crosby Show, 1250 AM, 105.7 FM, The Fan. We're free on YouTube. Find us on YouTube at The Fan Milwaukee. All our shows are streaming live on YouTube. You can use the app. You can use your desktop, however you view your YouTube videos, because we all know where you're watching YouTube shorts anyway. So you might as well just jump on real YouTube and watch us long form, because we're way more entertaining. And at least one of the three of us is very good looking.
Yeah, exactly. Tommy, you're welcome.
This is the Mason Crosby Show. Mason's Extra Points are next.
What's on Mason Crosby's mind today? It's time for Extra Points, powered by the Potawatomi Sportsbook on the Mason Crosby Show with Mitch Nellis on 1250 AM and 105.7 FM, The Fan.
All right, I'm thinking a lot of things, but I do want to give a thanks and a shout out back to Tyler Dunne for jumping on the show. He was on at 9:30. If you missed it, check us out. We are a podcast. You can jump on anywhere where you get your podcast. Go to the Odyssey app or iHeart apps, and you can download that and look at that. Also, Andy Brady, the president of Verizon here in the Midwest, he joined the show talking about their great initiatives. Jump on, do that. Follow us on YouTube. Really appreciate that. Just like, subscribe. Give us comments. We're here for you. We're having fun. But the biggest thing on my mind right now is, what is Mitch Thunder Nellis eating at Potawatomi at lunchtime? Because you mentioned lunch like 4 times in your 30 minutes on the show today. So what's on the plate today?
I want to eat everything in sight. I saw a good friend of the show, Jay Saunders, who's the PR guru here at Potawatomi Sportsbook and Potawatomi Hotel and Casino. So for full transparency, the kitchen at the sportsbook doesn't actually open till 4. So I don't know if they're making me a special meal or if we're going somewhere else at the casino, because obviously there's the food court, there's Rue Yi, there's the place with pizza upstairs. I don't think we're going to do Dream Dance for lunch. That'd be a little much. We'll save that for next week. That would be nice. But I also asked them, like, wherever we go, can I get like one of everything? Like, I don't want something from the menu. I want like 6 different, like, I like a half a burger.
Plate. Yeah, taster
plate. Right.
Nice.
I want a taster plate. Right. Because then I want to be able to talk about everything on the radio about how everything's amazing. So we don't have a plan yet, but I'm excited to eat anything and everything that's put in front of me.
All right. Well, I appreciate it, Mitch. Tommy, appreciate you as always. It was a great show today. You lined it up perfectly. Well done. And if you missed it, though, too, I will say Tyler Dunne, that House of Dysfunction, check it out. It'll make you happy that the Bears are just a disaster, which we all knew, right? I mean, he's just confirming kind of all of the feelings we already had. But go check that out and just get ready, because this season is in full force. Don't miss tomorrow as we make our picks for this upcoming weekend. As the current leader in the clubhouse, I feel really good about what my alternate pick is going to be, my 5th and my individual pick. I'm sure Tommy and Mitch will probably be really disappointed in me, but we're going to get it done.
Of course, you're excited about taking.
There's a
great a 7 million to 1 favorite.
There's a big lacrosse match going on that I'm going to be picking.
Tommy, do we need rules that it needs to be within a certain odds to be a valid?
No, he's just gonna pick.
Stop the rules.
He's gonna pick like by Saturday, America will still have 50 stars on the flag or something.
Yeah, exactly.
Like, that's what he's gonna do. Right?
He's just life guarantees is what I'm doing.
I love life guarantees.
My guaranteed lock. It's always there.
Nice. Let's get after it again tomorrow. He's Mason Crosby. Tommy Wirtz is here as well. Middays with Thunder's coming up next, live from the Potawatomi Sportsbook. My name is Mitch Nellis, a.k.a. Thunder. The Mason Crosby Show is presented by Verizon, the official 5G network of the Green Bay Packers. And as much as we love Tommy, Mason, it was you I was talking about. Who's the good-looking one?
I know you were. I'm right.
All right, just making sure. Just wanted to clear it up.
It's a Mitch Tommy sandwich here on YouTube, so come check us out.
Let's go.